Administrators in some local school districts are sending students home for a few days because of staffing issues brought on by COVID-19 and specifically the Omicron variant.
Local 12's Genesis Narrows talks with the local superintendent about the decision to pause learning and the goal for when students return.
At least 6 districts here in the tri-state made the recent decision for students to take a pause from the classroom and return to at-home learning. Zooms and virtual learning will be the norm for a couple days with hopes to reduce the spread. When it comes to virtual learning, regardless of the side you take, the reality, COVID-19 cases are up and schools are feeling it.
Well, I can tell you our student absent rate has reached the highest. It's 15%, probably moving towards the 20% on Friday. With the staff, what we look at is a sub-fill rate. So if we could fill all of our substitute needs, it doesn't really matter how many staff, right? But what we had was normally you want to be at about a 90% sub-fill rate, and we had reached where we were in the 50% sub-fill rate.
Loveland Superintendent Mike Broadwater says the district will learn remotely Thursday and Friday. Paired with the holiday weekend, kids will be out of the building for 5 days.
Obviously, I would prefer them to be in school, but you know, with all the teachers being out, with so many teachers being out, they're not getting, the same education that they would anyway. So.
They just need to be home right now. I mean, there's a lot going on.
Ann Schmidt is a mom of 2 who works from home, but she knows the burden virtual learning places on some families.
And it's really tough on families who have to work and then they have, a lot of kids at home, and it's just hard.
The decision for temporary virtual learning echoes around the tri-state. At Hamilton City Schools, the district started remote learning today and will continue tomorrow. Lockland announced it will extend remote learning for the rest of the week, crediting the high number of staff members out sick, quarantined, or waiting for a test result. Talawanda Middle School students will also be home for the rest of the week.
I know it's a hardship on the parents. As a parent myself, we never want to see where our kids aren't going to school. They belong in school, and that's where we want them. But we want to make sure that we're doing everything so that in the long run, we've got our kids in school.
Over at Loveland, in-person learning is set to resume Tuesday. The mask protocol for pre-K through 6th graders will still be in place. The superintendent says they were hoping to drop that and go to mask optional, but because of the rising cases, he says that's just not going to happen. Back to you.
Well, Cincinnati Public also moved to remote learning for 2 weeks. The city and the Recreation Commission are offering supervised camps for children at 10 rec centers while CPS is remote. There are still space available. It's a first-come, first-served basis. You can find the registration link inside the story at local12.com.